Hello, everybody. Welcome to our side event today, organized by EAFORD and the Geneva International Center for Justice. Today, our event is on the critical human rights issues of enforced disappearance in Iraq and the related crimes of torture and extrajudicial killings. Before we get right to the topic, just a couple of housekeeping issues. Translation is available today between English and Arabic, so you can use the channels 2 and 3 to access those languages. Also, per the rules of the Secretariat, the side event organizer will be taking photographs, so we ask that no one else take photographs today. Our photographers here, and also this gentleman here, they will be taking photographs. So if you are interested in having images of the event, they will be posted on our website, or you can contact us. She has our contact information as well. Also, just for those of you who are way in the back, there's plenty of space, so feel free to come up a little bit to be able to see and hear everything as good as possible. So, as I mentioned, today we're going to be hearing about the issue of enforced disappearances in Iraq and the closely related crimes of torture and extrajudicial killing. These are ongoing issues that have been repeatedly documented in Iraq by EAFORD and GICJ, reported to many UN bodies, but really not enough notice has been taken of these issues by the international community, and we would say no genuine efforts have been undertaken in Iraq to address these problems. Now, tragically, the issues are so widespread and prevalent today that it's difficult to underestimate the scope of the problem. Since 2014, a lot has been reported about the horrific atrocities of ISIS or Daesh, including kidnapping, torture, and executions of countless people. But unfortunately, this behavior is not limited just to Daesh fighters. It is common to militias operating across the country, and even to the official military personnel and law enforcement officials of the country. The government of Iraq often claims that these are isolated incidents by individuals outside the chain of command, but unfortunately this is, in fact, not the case. And when these sorts of crimes are perpetrated at such a wide scale and by officials of the state, they amount to crimes against humanity. And in the context of armed conflict, as in with ISIS, they are war crimes. Now today we have a very special speaker who can speak to these crimes firsthand as a journalist who has witnessed and documented them over a period of 9 months when he was working in Iraq. Mr. Ali Arkady is a prize-winning Iraqi journalist. He was embedded with a small group of Iraqi military personnel, and he expected to document a praiseworthy story of Iraqis taking back their country from Daesh. Unfortunately, what he witnessed turned out to be a darker story of disappearances, torture, and killing. So before we start, I should say in advance that some of the images and videos that you will see today are shocking and disturbing. So at this point, I'd like to introduce Mr. Arkady, and he can further introduce himself and tell you his story. Ali?
At the beginning, I would like to thank the organizer for this side event and to invite me as a journalist, as a witness before the participants in this side event. At the Human Rights Council, the United Nations Human Rights Council, I am Ali Arkady, a journalist, photojournalist, independent, and military reporter from Iraq. My work stands for 10 spheres, including documenting the daily life of the orphans in Baghdad, and to cover different reports at the front lines, in the confrontation lines in the war against ISIS. Since 2014, I worked with the Sabi agency in New York, 7 Photos agency, and with many different news agencies, international news agencies during the past 10 years. Today, I'm going to present you 6 war crimes I witnessed and have documented myself during 18th October till 22nd September 2016. All these cases includes members from the Rapid Response Forces affiliated to the Federal Police in Iraq. This unit, which is referred sometimes as the Rapid Response Division or Emergency Response Battalion, it is a special force, mobile force, affiliated or directly to the Interior Ministry. The War Studies Institute has referred to these forces in 2017 that this unit and its leader Thamer Muhammad Ismail Husseini, nicknamed Abu Turab, is related to Badr organization, has close relation. This unit also is less disciplined compared to other special forces. At early 2016, I have documented Fallujah blockade and the military operations there with the Special Forces unit of the Intelligence Brigade under the Captain Omar Nazar and Corporal Haidar Ali. These two officers are the heroes of this documentary. I have photographed them as liberator of Iraq. At that time, I did not witness any detention or torture cases for civilians, as innocent civilians, or how do they abduct the husbands and sexually assault and rape their wives. Then, after I get their confidence and approval to my project by Commander Thamer, I continued documenting the operations by this rapid response till in Al-Mosul. I would like to point out here before I explain the Mosul issues and before addressing the war crimes in Mosul, I would like to point out to some photos that I took during Fallujah operation. During that time I was with the same forces. Maybe some might have heard about the mass disappearance in Fallujah, where 643 people disappeared in one night on 3rd of June 2016. This is one of the most serious enforced disappearance cases in Iraq. Some of the organizations like Geneva Center, GICJ, have presented this case to the Human Rights Council. The United Nations Human Rights Council have presented this case. I used to work in Fallujah at that time. I heard about this case. I went to verify and document these cases. As a witness and a journalist now, I would like to explain to you that the evidence that I have, and also you may refer to the report also at the GICJ's website, and this make me to communicate with GICJ to be able today to be with you today and to show you the facts that I have concluded into personally. This video, which you are going to see, I'm going to watch, presents a story of a young man. His name is Wissam. When some of the militia tried to investigate with him, and at an instant moment, when some of the combatants pointed to the incarnation, to the Holocaust or genocide, he said to Wissam, "If you are innocent, we'll let you go." He's telling them, him, unless we'll take you to the incineration or to the. And I have linked between what he said and the people who killed or buried or burned, and also how the Iraqi army deals. The video speaks about how the Iraqi army deals with the inmates in Fallujah and in Sabtar, and I have a chance to deal with BBS channel as a photographer, and I have had the chance to enter this prison through a civil organization, and I have seen this, what you are going to see. And at some instances, they want to break my camera and to stop photographing. Yes. Where is? What is your name? Do you know them? Yeah. Anyone who has nothing to do will be released. We'll send them to the otherwise to the incineration. There is kind of brainwashing by ISIS and this our role is to maintain unity. And when you have some of them like 11 years old. What happened to Iraq? Like the families, what happened to them? Isn't it the right time to wake up? The voice is not clear. Hurry up. Stop photographing. Not allowed. Not allowed. I would like to add one more thing into this video. The Iraqi army dealing with the inmates, they have dealt with them in a very bad way, more than what you have seen now. Then they stopped photographing. Each room accommodates, it's 7x4 room, accommodates 100 inmates or detainees or more. At the same time, their health condition is not good. And I saw children also, group of children there, between 13 to 17 years old, with old men in one prison. This is inhuman. What is more weird is that the spokesperson for Ministry of Interior, Saad Ma'an, whom you saw in the video, knows about this, and when they come up, when he comes to the TV, he speaks in a different way. Now, I would like to go to Mosul, go back to Mosul. These cases that I'm going to address now are only just during the last 4 weeks of a period of 9 months of taking footage with the rapid response forces. This week's was the beginning of my discovering this incriminated practices by the forces in the camp. On 22nd October, I met 2 of the detainees. 2 detainees, Ahmed and Ghassan. The information officer told me to make an interview with them. They have been detained in southern Mosul, in a village, Tal Latiba village. When I looked at their faces, there were clear signs of torture, physical torture. The captain Omar told them that he's not going to kill them now because the media has taken their photos. And this shows that there are some people who were murdered or killed in some other areas far from from the camera. One of them was innocent and the other worked with the Islamic police. Nonetheless, we cannot confirm these confessions by them because Ahmad is 19 years and Ghassan 25 years. They have they have been exposed to torture, have been drugged for the past 3 days, have been humiliated. And they make them wear women dress, and they taken different confessions from them. After a while, they told me that these 2 guys were killed. I was curious, asking myself, why they have not been sent to Baghdad for trial? Why they have been killed there without any trial? And we might see also the video. We might see the video now for these two people. Muhammad from where? Okay. I'm afraid that you are going to kill me, Hassan. As long as we took your photos and the media took your photos, we are not going to kill you. Did you know? Because you know me. We're going to take you to the displaced camp. Abu al-Husn. What about the intelligence? Nobody can talk to them. They find some. If they find cigarette with you, they're going to stop you at the checkpoint. We'll continue. This was the beginning of the violence acts committed by the rapid response forces that I have seen in 8th November near the Hammam al-Alil, which has not been liberated yet at that time. The rapid response forces has bombed the area, the village, with rockets, and the leader Abbas al-Jabouri, the commander, and Thamir Ismail, coordinating this attack. A small officer asked Jabouri and Thamir Ismail to stop the bombing because there are civilians stuck inside the city. Ismail, he said, what I heard, don't stop, I don't care about people, let them burn. We need to win and to have a victory over this region, this area, at any cost, because there has they competed with the federal police. They are part of the federal police, Iraqi federal police, and there is kind of competition between who is going to win or and get some booties. The booties that we're going to speak about now. Early November, they are fierce fighting between the rapid response and the ISIS combatant insurgents in the southern Mosul, led to displacement of many families who reached to Gabr al-Abid village and Tigris village in small boats. The rapid response brought them for investigation at the intelligence unit premises in Gabr al-Abid. In 14 November, I saw the first torture case. A guy was arrested, Ali, his name is Ali, at Hammam al-Alil. While fleeing from Mosul, he has been transported to the snipers unit at Gabr al-Abid. Has been interrogated by Captain Thamir for 3 hours and was beaten by some soldiers. I saw Captain Samir al-Duri wearing the uniform and a mask covers his face. He put water on Ali's face and sat on his chest and strangulated him with a plastic wrap for 5 hours. This continued. I could not take pictures for any other torture scenes that day because he refused. At the morning, I was allowed to return to his sister's house, but I don't know where is he now. I don't know. Yes, I have been about. Do you know now? Do you know the village? No. Sit. Where are their belongings? They went to bring his belongings. You understand me. You do, of course, you do understand me, but you pretend you're not. It has been. You are lying. You are lying. Easy, easy. He's taking picture. You saw him in the video. He's saying that don't beat him. He's taking photos, or he's videoing. This after 7 months with them, I gained their confidence. This place in particular, I start taking, making videos. We'll speak about details later. Now we'll move to this other story and then we'll stop. In 15th November, Captain Thamer Duri received information from an informer that one person named Ra'ad Hindiya is as one of the sympathizers of ISIS. He was the warden of mosque. He has been detained, arrested, and moved to the premises, the headquarters. Captain pointed his gun to Ra'ad Hindiya and threw him to the ground and sat on his chest and told him that he's going to die today. The captain asked me to delete the abuses from the video. He got some confidence. Then he started strangulating Ra'ad with a nylon rope. The captain wasn't sure if Ra'ad is a combatant or not. He decided to return him to his family, but he said also he's going to take him back again. On 22nd November, Ra'ad was detained again. Captain Umar brought him to the headquarters of the Special Forces of the Rapid Response, or the Task Force, or the premises of Corporal Nazar, Captain Nazar. Captain Ahmed hit him with a hammer. His face turned into blue. Ra'ad came back again and with a nylon rope and strangulated him for 2 hours. When I left the room, Captain Thamer Duri was breaking the jars on his head. Later I heard from the individuals of this rapid response that Ra'ad was killed. But the investigations, the hours of investigation did not prove that he has any kind of relation with ISIS. Where is the man? Don't worry. What is your name? Ra'ad. What do you work? What is your job? We just want to investigate and return him back to you. Just will ask him and send him back some questions. Go inside, keep quiet, go inside. Go inside. Just keep quiet, he's hushing her. It's not. Rad, I love you, Rad. Voice not clear. I can't find someone like you. Sir.
Images, and I want to ask you if you could explain a little bit more how you came to be embedded with the unit and how you came to be able to photograph more and more over time. How was it that they allowed you to do that?
You know, because I am a journalist and I'm Iraqi journalist, and when I start to do photography and video, it was one of my dream to document something about my country, about my town. When war is coming up, Arabic, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. لا حرش عربي يعني.
When I started working as a photojournalist in Iraq, I like to document the humanitarian issues in Iraq, and when the war erupted, Fallujah was my concern. So through a friend, I started entering to Fallujah, and I didn't get introduced to those people. That time, I get introduced to Umar, two persons, Umar and the other guy. They have been there for 10 years fighting in the rapid response force. What I would like to work on is what is positive thing that Umar is from Sunni sect and Haidar is Shiite from Shiite sect. So I like to show something, to depict something positive. That there is no problems. Look how they are fighting together. Let us end this sectarianism in Iraq. That is why I worked with them and published some of the videos and pictures with Der Spiegel, with different agencies during 7 months. I worked with the Happy Baghdad project. Then I told or narrated their story about TEDx Baghdad, and have shown them or illustrated them as heroes. But after when they have more confidence on me, I couldn't see something negative or wrong by these forces. But when I went to Mosul, these forces, the American forces, sorry, in Hammam al-Alil, they stopped there for 1 month, stayed there for 1 month. When they stayed for 1 month there, all forces are just they bring people, taking people here and there. Then first allow me to take pictures, then delete some of them. They do trust me. They have great confidence on me. And so I asked, who are they? They said they are ISIS. They are ISIS when I asked. So I said, I don't know whether they are ISIS or civilians. But when I was go with them on a daily basis, they call me to come and take pictures. They tell me this is ISIS. After this is not an ISIS. This is civilian, 100%. And I have all his details to prove that he's civilians because I have all the investigations in the video, photographed and videoed. I said it was difficult, week after weeks after week, to continue, and I believe that they are going to bring these people, send them to the trial or military court in Baghdad or whatever. But in the fourth week, they show me videos of the same people that they have tortured, that they killed them. And they send me these videos. And he said they can publish it in your film. And they are very proud of themselves. They say this is nothing. Is it sectarian issue? Is it military issue? I concluded that the Iraqi armed forces, Iraqi forces, they not distinguish. They are not different from ISIS. ISIS has declared that they have killed, but published that in the social media and the internet, and said, I do kill. It is very clear. But the Iraqi forces uses their liberation reasons or pretext to commit to serve their own sectarian agenda and killing people and for reprisal. We see the Iraqi government is a group of gangsters, starting from Prime Minister to all other commanders. They are from organizations, like Al-Da'wa organization, Badr organization, and so on and so on. So they are a group, the group of sectarian people using the forces, their own forces, special forces, after they have destroyed the Iraqi forces in 2014 by former Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki. They have destroyed these forces to establish their own forces, the federal police, rapid response, militias of the popular gathering, and some other sectarian groups in Iraq, and we know that, and all of us know about that.
هل لديك صور أخرى ترغب في أن تعرضها علينا؟
I have a group of, it will be quite shocking scenes or pictures, but what matters is you have to see them, because I came here to show, to let you see the truth in a credible way. And
Okay. في منتصف
mid-November,
توقف التقدم العسكري
the military progress stopped in Mosul for more than 1 month with these forces. So the soldiers
عمل أشياء غريبة
trying to do something weird I wasn't expecting from them.
سمعت
I heard Captain Omar Nazar and Corporal Haider Ali and other soldiers of the intelligence unit
الرد السريع
of the rapid response
فوج الاستخبارات
from the intelligence brigade speaking about the raping and sexual assaults and searching for women suspected of hosting ISIS insurgents, and they separate them from their husbands. I have recorded this conversation without the knowledge of rapid response through my iPhone for 2 hours. The soldiers saying these women are part of the war booties, and I have documented 2 hours of the conversation. Very shocking how they go to raid houses, how to rape women, and so on and so on forth. Many details in this recording. On the night of 22nd November, three from the rapid response and intelligence made a night raid to arrest an ISIS official in Hammam al-Ali with the knowledge of the coalition forces, with documenting or videoing this operation by the coalition forces, who was aware, while they have been calling Captain Umar was calling the operation, in particular the coalition forces from Italy and USA. Captain Ahmad from the intelligence center and Captain Thamir and Corporal Haider Ali were part of this mission, but the operation failed. At the same night, they have arrested a man called Rashid Al-Mani. Later I knew that Captain Umar Nazar from the task force was very concerned of having great interest on his wife, on the gentleman's wife, Taghrid. The soldiers kicked the door, and the Captain Umar Nazar took Rashid from his bed. His wife and sons were crying. Rashid was forced to say the oath, and they make him memorize to show him as guilty before the video. The oath that when anyone joined ISIS, he has to say the oath. It is a sentences showing his loyalty to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi or the ISIS, to ISIS. Many people they not memorize this. Rashid al-Mali know nothing about this oath of loyalty. Before the camera for 20 minutes, I was taking video, and they have make him memorize and beaten him to memorize this. And finally told me, let us only focus on the video where he looks like an ISIS member. Few days, the intelligence unit arrested Rashid and took him to the intelligence premises. 1 week later, a soldier from the intelligence unit, his name is Bashar, met Captain Nazar and told him that Nazar died because he was in the torture section. He has problem with his heart, cardiology issue. I hear the conversation between Bashar, and they were beside me and Captain Umar, that Rashid is innocent. I hear them saying that Rashid is innocent. Few nights later, Captain Umar raped Rashid's wife, Taghrid. You know, her husband was killed. She doesn't know that her husband died. The Captain Umar said, I will let your husband free if you let me and sleep with you or rape you. And this was the conversation. She wasn't aware that her husband died. Don't worry, don't worry, don't be afraid. Why didn't you come? They took us. You took him before? Where is Saad? He's saying the oath of loyalty. The Emir of believers, Umar al-Baghdadi, for loyalty, to be obedient on the good days and bad days, and to become a jihadist in the cause of Allah, the cause of God. Is it good? It's okay, yeah? Your wife is Sarah. What is her name? Tagrid. What do you know then? I couldn't show the whole video, just to show you how is it. Sometimes the video might give more evidences than the pictures.
Okay, we'll continue.
In 23rd November, while the displaced still coming to Qabr al-Abd village, Captain Captain Thamer sent someone to me in the building near Nazar. It was the surveillance unit. I saw Mahdi Mahmoud. He's a shepherd from Qabr al-Abd. He was with Captain Sufyan at the intelligence unit. Ahmad is the son of Mahdi. He was in the kitchen with Captain Thamir al-Duri, where they have been tortured. At the same time, they hear each other's screams while being tortured. During the interrogation, Ahmad Mahdi, his son, in 2014 joined one of the ISIS courses for 1 month, and then his father returned him home, brought him home back. Ahmad is 16 years now. That time he was 16 years. Captain Sufyan ordered Mahmoud to be hanged, to be blindfolded, and to be hanged in the room. He had been beaten continuously. This was the first time that I was allowed to take pictures of their crimes. After the interrogation by Captain Thamir to Ahmad, he slapped him several times. Ahmad was allowed to return home. Duri told me later that the soldiers from the intelligence unit and rapid response executed Ahmad Mahdi. He was 16 years old. He has nothing to do with ISIS. This is Ahmad Mahdi. Stand up, stand up. Where do you keep the explosives? Your son is responsible for the assets of the Islamic State. Ammar is also. Come, come, go inside. Nobody will feel better about you. Remember, I will kill you if you ever be part of the ISIS. Don't go any training or courses. What is the name of your friend who make you join ISIS? Never go to him. Never go to him. Never. I know your father is worried about you. Do you understand? Go with him. I will move to the other story quickly. Time is running short. At midnight of 15th December, two brothers were brought to the rapid response base in Zawaya. That time we were close to Mosul. Then moved to intelligence section. Ahmad told me he's one of the criminals in those who commit torture at the intelligence room in the rapid response force. He said, no need to interrogate them. They are certainly members of ISIS. He allowed me to take pictures and video, and later then two brothers were separated, Ahmad Abdullah Hussein and Hassan Muhammad and Laith. They fled with their families from Al-Quds and have been detained in Turkey by the Golden Forces, who allow them to enter after they make sure they are not ISIS through the computer list in the computer, etc. They confirm that they are not ISIS members. Ahmad Abul Fadl told me in the morning on 17th of December that they were killed, or he killed the two brothers. He showed me a video of the two dead bodies and told me they have been buried in the outskirts of the city. He sent me a video through the social media. In the next days, I received more of the video clips of the execution by Captain Omar Nazar and Corporal Haider. You might see this footage in Horintus magazine or BBC channel. The clips were published in these sites or. These are the pictures sent to me 2 or 1.5 days later and told me we have killed them. And in the video you might see also the name of the Shiite commander says we revenge for this name or revenge for this sect. Shibla Zaid, I don't know what is it, I can't remember the name, but we came to know that he is a Shiite commander or leader. Look, thanks God, they have been Shibla Zaidi. We took our revenge. Final case on 19th December, an night raid, unofficial night raid by the task force affiliated to Captain Omar Nazar, arrested Ahmed Hamid Ata and 2 other young men. They have been brought blindfolded and hand-tied to the premises. When I saw Abbas Hassoun later, he's in this picture. That night he told me he raped Ahmed Hamid Ata in one room. This team from the task force, there are 15 soldiers. 4 of them are running these tasks. 2 of them rape men and children, and the 2 Umar Haidar rape women. Captain Umar Nazar and Corporal Haidar tried to rape one of the wives of those men. Tried to rape this woman. They took the husband outside of the room, and then you might see the video. It's not translated, but there is, we have translation, okay. When Haidar goes out of the room, when close the room, close the door and stay alone. When he came back to take pictures, and what has happened? Corporal Captain Umar Nazar entered the room and said, and told the Corporal Haidar, Cobra, his name, nicknamed, what happened to her? Why didn't he do it? They start laughing. I couldn't. She has her month period. She's in her period. I couldn't rape her. I am Ahmed. Your ID. Your ID. Why that? Stand up. Easy, easy. Stand up. Where are they? Stand up. Go out. She has her period, he's saying. They have stolen the laptop and the mobile phone. I followed them during this night raid that there is ISIS youth, but when I went with them, I couldn't see ISIS. They are just civilians. That is why I'm here. The war crimes are just few examples of the practices committed by these forces with the militia. Thamir Abu Turab is from Badr organization and commander of the Rapid Response Forces affiliated to the Interior Ministry, and the Interior Ministry was a member to Badr organization also, and the new minister is from Ad-Dawah party. So will have more victims in the future. Therefore, the soldiers and officers of the Rapid Response executed and committed some violent crimes, enforced disappearance of thousands of civilians with the approval of the higher ranks at the response team, at the emergency response division. None of the victims was subject to trial. They have just killed extra legally. Although this evidence has been published and the confession by the Interior Ministry officially that they have committed, their forces have committed the crimes under my name and name of the channel and the name of the magazine. But nobody was charged among the soldiers and officers that I have mentioned or ever penalized. And now they have been rather have been honored in this date, as you see in the pictures, and even promoted into higher ranks. Like Captain Omar became a commander of brigade, and more 1,000. He has 1,000 soldiers under his control. What Omar is doing with Iraq? This only one person, and we have thousands of soldiers and people like Omar. Therefore, I hope this information is a motive to the United Nations to take required measures and hold the Iraqi government accountable and responsible, and refer them to the ICC, International Criminal Court, to the Iraqi army. I would like to thank you all for your time and for giving me this chance to share with you these stories. If you want the report, the full report, you may access it. It's about 20 pages report. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ali, for sharing your images and your eyewitness account with us. Very heavy subject and heavy presentation. As uncomfortable as it is to see, I mean, we think that it's important that we fully understand what's going on, and because otherwise, as we can see, little or no action is taken on these matters. Perhaps what's almost as shocking as the images is the impunity with which these activities go on. But thank you again for bringing them to us. We have some grace period here because we don't have another meeting coming right on our tail. So we can take a couple of questions from folks if we could do that. Okay, so good. We have a couple of people. We'll start with you, and then we'll have you, and then yeah. Now it is, yes.
Oh, thank you for giving me the floor. Thank you, Mr. Arkady, for your presentation, witnessing what you are witnessed. Sorry. I have one question. Do you think your effort to publicize these crimes have made or will made a difference Thank you.
هل هذه النوع من الجرائم قد تحدث عند تبليغ بها تحدث اختلافا فيما يحصل على أرض الواقع؟
يعني
I think it will make differences because these documents are now quite rare of this type, and this is true story. Therefore, I think if we work together at the longer term, we will achieve something, and there will be an outcome. Will be outcomes because this is quite complicated issues. I need to be studied, and I'm available to provide with all the stories and files with all credibility and honesty.
شكرا. أنا من تركستان وأعمل.
I'd like to make two comments. Many thanks. It was a shock to see all these things. The thing is that when we talk about the enforced disappearances, I mean, when a state does not ratify the Enforced Disappearance Convention, we have got the ICCPR Article 6, because enforced disappearance means 50% the death of the people, and here there is the thing. And because ICCPR is ratified by Iraqi government, we can take the subject under the responsibility of right to protect the life, and to UPR, and it is directly under the responsibility of Human Rights Council. But there is another thing, the direct responsibility of Secretary General of the United Nations, because there is an exceptional state position for Iraq, because now the UN Secretary General is under responsibility to give reports to the UN Security Council. It is under his special mandate. When it is under his special mandate, and when enforced disappearances are defined as by the UN, crime against humanity, which is organized systematic crime, then we have got an experience from the last Secretary General of the UN on Sri Lanka. He appointed himself a committee of inquiry for the war crimes in Sri Lanka in 2010. And now, because the other old Secretary General has made it, but even he doesn't have a mandate to control Sri Lanka, now under an obligation of the Secretary General to open an investigation on the enforced disappearances, because it is under his mandate. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that comment. Yes, ma'am.
أروى الخطابي.
أروى الخطابي.
For me, it's horrible videos and photos and situation. And at the same time, I am wondering how you get to this team. You are part of this team. You make photos and you make videos. Are you with this team? Because the videos is really correct, and videos live. It's horrible how you live after this. I cannot even, my nerves is destroyed. How you live, and are you with this team? And how many crimes did you see? Thank you.
At the beginning, thank you. I'm an artist before being journalist. That is why my perspective is quite different. I work in an international agency, so journalism is very holy thing for me. So when I went to them, I worked with them. At the beginning, I mentioned that this is a long documentary film. It's about positive issue, about two persons. When you want to work on an issue deeply, you need to be there always. Therefore, I used to hear, after 7 months, I discovered and been therefore taking videos. It is for 1 month only. And last time when I returned, then I left. I traveled. So I asked myself when I saw the first time torture, or the heroes became monsters. I said to myself, I'm a journalist and a human being. My duty is Now, the way I depicted them or illustrated them as heroes, I have to show the truth. And this is my duty. I have sacrificed my family. They have been threatened by them. I have moved to another place. I have been threatened. My friends were threatened. And they defamed me in all Iraq and posted my photos at all checkpoints that I am a thief and so on, so on and so on. They want to arrest me, but they want to stop me, but I did not stop. Living after this, I'm proud that I was there. I'm proud that I'm Iraqi. I'm proud that I saw them from different perspective. It was great chance. People all used to talk about that, but I have inner feelings. I have a kind of investigative journalism. Who are ISIS? Who are these forces? Who are the Iraqi forces? Are they committing crimes? I might hear that from my friends that there are crimes committed, but they didn't verify that. At the end, after my investigation, I found out that these forces are not less than ISIS. They are worse, but they are even worse than ISIS. ISIS is clear, out and loud. They kill and publish. And all the international community agrees that about this issue. But the Iraqi forces, they are using the victory issue and using some words to kill people and continue their sectarian revenge and some instincts, human bad instincts. What do you say? They are most of them are children from the streets. They have no conscience. And one who joined them, they train him to be one like them. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am? You could use the microphone, please.
sorry. نحن بسجاع
We honestly, we saw facts that we are not aware. I'm Arwa from Lebanon. One issue that we thought that the Iraqi government is making victory. By this video, you have shown the real picture of what is going on inside Iraq. ISIS is no different than what is happening by the government or by authorities there, because saying that we are liberating and making victory and achievements, but under table there are crimes committed, which makes me chill, my body chill. We thank you so much for this explanation, for these facts. I would like to thank you that you managed to take this documentary without being exposed to any harm. And thank you so much, really. My question that is, I would like to ask you, what is the difference between ISIS? Don't you think the government is even a little bit better than ISIS? Why ISIS came to Iraq? You know Al-Anbar and Mosul, a Sunni territory. The Shiite authority, I am fully aware what they have done, the Iraqi soldiers and the Iraqi army, in these areas after 2003, in Mosul, Fallujah, Ramadi, the Sunni controlled areas. These people, many people suffered the same cases even during the Americans' time: rape, killing, reprisals, and even more. They want a way out. The ISIS was the only way out for them. This is what I have discovered. The ISIS, when they came, they also taken revenge, because these people were women were raped. You know the tribes system. As violence lead to violence. That is why it is not something new. This is just part of the developments and trainings that they have learned from the U.S. forces, the coalition force. In one picture, Ali Mushtaraka, he is liaison or translator, works with the Americans since 2003. He used tools to torture the two brothers with a knife. When I went to ABC report, the channel, during past 6 months in 2017, they talked to their friends from the special forces. They told us this is techniques used in Iraq, the Americans. These trainings, they have learned this from the Americans and became even stronger. Captain Umar Nazar is not only just about rape and killing, it's stealing only. I have videos document that they go and steal the civilians, loot the civilians. Because he's rich, and then they bring him to the intelligence, taking money as a ransom, and then release him. He's trafficking also or trading in arms. You have many materials, many films with more details. This, what I brought shown, is just like 15% of what is actually happening. For me, they are even worse, because they are working under a hierarchy, and they enforce disappearance, killing without mercy, without trial. ISIS, they have kind of trials at the end. They have no trials. ISIS is not doing less, not at all. Both practice terrorism, both are the same thing. I can't speak about ISIS. I couldn't see what, I know nothing about what I didn't take any photos but just I see but at the front line I have some information. I have full information about this. I don't compare, when I compare between what they did and what I see in the social media, that is not less than ISIS. You saw by yourself the same practices of ISIS. Thank you. سؤال إضافي.
Thank you. Actually, I really appreciate أنا أقيم because it's human rights issues. But you are showing some photos and movies which is something like which has been secret. But Daesh is showing a lot of movie explicitly, and it's very strange how you compare the Daesh to Iraqi government forces. Even when you see in France, for example, there is something very street protest, and you see the reaction of France government as a democratic government. I mean, we should care, we should see that what Daesh and its friends have done in Iraq, and how is it very, very harsh and very, very serious. And okay, is it something like the Iraqi government should just say, okay, let's come and talk? I said, I really appreciate, it's very serious to follow, they shouldn't do that, it's clear. But in act, not in word, in act, is it comparable? It's fair that you are saying it's both. It's strange for me just as a researcher. I am not an Iraqi, I am not following, I am not a pro-Iraqi government or pro-Daesh, anti-Daesh. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I believe there is a way to there is a reason to compare what you saw now, that it is just 0%, even 1%. At the same time, when I've been working with them, I heard that the federal police are doing the same thing. Militias and the popular mobilization are doing the same thing. Some of the Golden Forces who work with the Americans, I heard about that. They're doing the same thing, but I wasn't sure. But I make sure when I take photos, I saw that with my own eyes. Yes, there is way to compare, and there is comparison. I'll give you another example. The commander of the Rapid Forces, Thamer, was imprisoned in Kufa for terrorism. You can go and find out that. 2005 or 6, or on sectarian charges, with Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi at I think the same time. It's in Buka prison. They were both imprisoned for the same charges, terrorism. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi and this commander. I saw Thamer pictures, and Ali Abed, the translator. He said, "Don't tell anybody that who work with the coalition forces, taking pictures from them in a yellow uniform." And you could see Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi picture also. And I tell you, because I'm a journalist, I'm confident about my information, and this is what I did. I have verified.
Actually, I didn't say
I'm
truth, and it should be prevented. They should work on these human rights issues. But when you are reporting, you should report, or you should showing us a complete puzzle, not just one side and saying it's not comparable. It's 20% versus 80% human right violation. I think most of them is a reaction to who are them and what they have done. I mean the Daesh and other friends. Thank you very much.
I don't understand very well, but
it's
just
clear
like
that
short, yeah.
I think it's better to show the real picture of all part of the story, not just showing a very few part of it, and I mean just bolding the some part that is in whole puzzle, in whole story. It's not nothing, but it's very few.
You're talking about you think that there should be more of a balance, like some sort of both sides. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, for next meetings it's good, but I mean for your next report.
Now, in fact, when I publish these stories through media, news, they use like 10 minutes only. I waited 2 years to come here. I have 1 hour. This is the first time I talk to you directly. I've been waiting for this moment, and you are right. There is more information. There are some videos, more than 2 terabytes materials. These issues includes many details, and we'll work on that to show the full story. If you want to see the full story, you can call the organizations who organized this event. We have 20 pages about stories about this. You can see all the details and information. This, of course, very few, and needs more time to explain further about this issue. I do agree with you. Thank you.
I think perhaps the crimes that Daesh has been reported on rather extensively. There's an entire effort by the UN to investigate that and prosecute the people who are involved in that. But the same is not true for the other side of the story. So that's part of what Ali is here to talk about, that other side. So here is not, we did not feel it was necessary to present all of that, pardon me, because the other side has so much documentation already on it. This is where information is missing, so we wanted that to be made clear. Okay, so thank you. I want to go ahead and wrap up now. If there's plenty of time, you will be here for a little while, and Ali is happy to answer questions and engage in more one-on-one conversations. Did you have a very short question? Yeah.
I think in Arabic world and Islamic world, we are living in the same age of the Middle Ages between Protestant and Catholic. And as we have religious regimes, we will continue this battle. So we have to find solution. There is no solution than separating religion from states and have states for all of us and religion become a part of private life. And this is the only solution for all of us in our regions, in Islamic and Arabic. Otherwise, this battle will continue for a long, long time because every regime who is religious, he will try to eliminate the other group. So we cannot eliminate each other. We must accept each other on the basis of all people, they have right to believe and they have right to be governed by secular state. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's actually a nice forward-looking way of maybe wrapping up our session and looking at possible solutions for the future. So thank you all very much for your attendance today. We really appreciate you coming. And again, if you would like any additional information, this session will be available on our website, gicj.org, in a week's time or so. And Ali is happy to also respond to any questions you have afterwards. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you.